Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Caricature, and welcome back to my glitzy, girly, and glamorous little review show, Very Slay, where we go over each and every main stage runway look on RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars. This week we said goodbye to one of the best runway queens of this season, and I am so upset about it. We actually had something similar to this runway theme in Drag Race Philippines earlier this year. Basically, a look that can look gorgeous while being blown in the wind, so lots of movement, lots of dynamic qualities. Something out of material that would really take advantage of being blasted with a fan. If I think a look got the job done but wasn't incredible, we give it an okay. If it truly did blow me away, we give it a slay, and if there was no movement at all, dead on arrival, we give it a nay. And that's all in efforts to find my weekly slay of the day, my favorite look out of every episode, and whichever look takes that top honor for the week will go head to head up against our current ranked slay of the season, which is Galavaro's Garden of Eden look from episode 1. Whichever look holds that top spot at the end of the season after we have crowned a winner will get an illustration from me at some point. I'm hoping this week, since I have a little more time at home, to really get going on some of these that I'm very behind on, and those sketches will be coming to the Patreon at any paid tier level. If you want to join the Patreon for free, however, you do get to join and see my opinions on full episode reviews, production rigging, anything like that. That can be read over there. If you're not happy with this season either, join us. Vent. We are in this together. But also an update, as we have a lot of seasons coming this week that I'm putting content out for, where you'll get to see this look a lot. There's going to be a bit of a change in the format. Very Slay is still going to be happening, but we are only going to be talking about the looks that you see for the challenges on Dragula or the runway looks on Drag Race. That is it. Anything else outside of that. So if that's returning queens looks that we get to see, if it's entrance looks into the workroom at the beginning of the season, anything of that nature, that will be covered in written form for the time being over on Patreon. Once this move is complete, that will probably change, and those will be done as bonus videos that you can access at the $1 level. I'm thinking about doing something with them. I'm kind of entertaining the idea of doing a top 20, top 30 maybe entrance looks, or that would be a specifically Patreon patron exclusive video. If that is something you want to get in on, maybe that's the place to do that. I would like to, once I'm settled in, maybe start actually going back and doing retro Very Slay. I will say there are some seasons I would remove people from, namely the disqualified queen from season 12 and the winner that shall not be named from season 4, because I don't really want to talk about either of them. Or the first eliminated queen on season 11, but let's be real, she wasn't gonna get much airtime anyways. But that being said, we are kind of in the home stretch of the move. We should be done in the next couple of months. So if you wanna wait until like December or January and join, be a great time. But in the meantime, Marina Summers art is gonna be coming pretty soon. And I actually mean it, because I finally know what I'm doing, and if this idea turns out on paper like it looks in my head, oh diva, it's gonna be good. So I think you're gonna wanna stay tuned. And there's gonna be a lot of other art coming that I'm gonna be posting behind the scenes looks on. Be sure to check all of that out. But enough about all of that. Let's get into each and every one of these looks, because we only have 7. Thank goodness. Okie dokie. First up this week, we have Kitty Scott Claus. And this gold moment, I will say when she walked out, I thought, oh wow, this is the prettiest she's looked the whole season. Like, it's the best hair and makeup combo, it's the best silhouette. And then she opened the coat up, and we see that it's like just a bodysuit. When I saw all this fabric, I got honestly a little excited, because I thought, is Kitty actually gonna have a good look for once? I liked the veil. I liked this kind of champagne color on her. She's really committed to being like, at the best, mid as hell. Like, it's not bad. For Kitty, it's quite gorgeous, actually. It's just a bodysuit with some rhinestones on it. Like, it's nice, but as a concept, there's no concept. It just isn't successful. For her, it's great, but I'm gonna give it just an okay. Next up, we have Vanity Vein. Poor Vanity. I feel so bad for her. She's another one of these girls that we were hearing about on Drag Race this year who's having complications with looks. I feel like the gloves were part of the original look that got damaged, and then she just had to improvise with Christmas decorations, because did they film this in like the winter? Christmas decorations were out and about, but it's just not great. Like, it's a mess. She's got no shape. It's real, she's just a blob of garlands. And it didn't really move that well in the wind because it's such heavy material. The fringe itself, like, it moves kind of in a cool way. No, Nothing makes sense about this. Nothing goes together. I get that it's an improvised last minute look, and by golly, can you tell? This is 1000% a nay, as unfortunate as the circumstances surrounding this look are. Next up, we have Pathia in what I think is one of the most gorgeous looks out of the entire competition. I would say easily, this is in my like top 5. Perfection. Everything about this is so good. And what I love about it is that the fabric choice is so lightweight, it's so delicate, and then with how sheer it is too, it looks gorgeous in the lighting on the runway. But the draping on it all allows the fabric, from a construction standpoint, to really fly. And the fact that it's in the hair, it's mounted on like these little metal hoops, so it's structured in where it's placed. It's not gonna get in the hair. It's not gonna cause much of a problem. This hair is also like incredible. This is a sculptural wig that I actually really enjoy. It really amplifies the intention of the look, and I didn't really mind the basically straight wig with a big sculptural piece like on top of it, because the scale is perfect on this. And then when we get into the detailing of the garment, the placement of everything is just like chef's kiss. This is phenomenal. This is absolutely a slay. Next up, we have Alyssa Edwards, and this is the second time we've seen this promo wig, but she's worn a lot of wigs that are very similar to it this season. This is very clearly her promo wig, and I am convinced, given the material of this dress, that tinsel wig that she wore for the design challenge a couple episodes ago may be a conspiracy theorist for this. I'm convinced that that wig was intended to be for this look, because it is the exact same fringe. It's the exact same blue tinsel. She had to sacrifice that wig from that look for the design challenge because it was probably the only wig she had that went with it, really. I think that it worked fine for that look, but I really do wish we got to see it in context with this, because I feel like that would have been so much more visually impressive. I think the draping on this, especially like the back piece bit, is really, really gorgeous. This is another look that must have been so expensive. It's very airtight, I think. The hair doesn't make it very airtight. The ponytail that she would have worn with this, if I was right about the wig thing, would not be very airtight. But I enjoy this look a lot. I think it's a really pretty color on her. I'm a big fan. This is a slay. Next up, we have Nania. And I think this Jessica Rabbit fire concept is really gorgeous on her. I love her in red. Really pretty color. This is one of the better looks I think we've gotten out of her this season. The way the fabric moves in the wind is gorgeous. I love the corset. The flame bits are really cool on it. I really don't like this hair. I wish there was something bigger to it. I wish it just had more like oomph, like more volume, because it's kind of flat. But I think had she had like something that was a little bit more voluminous, like big music video hair, this would have had that extra oomph that I think the look needed. Because when you put this up against a large scale look like Alyssa's and all that fringe, or up against even Pathia's look, it doesn't really hold up in terms of the overall wow factor. But it's still good. I'm gonna give it a soft slay. I think there's enough room for improvement that it's not gonna really be like a top look for me, but I think it is a really solid one either way. Next up, we have Tessa Testicle, and this is everything. This is my favorite look from her ever. This is like perfect. And I think it's so funny that her and Alyssa had such a similar idea with all this fringe and having like the tinsel hair. But I prefer Tessa's much more than Alyssa's, because this is like the full vision. The way this moves, the way she performs this is so cool. The fact that it's like chaps once the wind hits it and hits the sleeves. This is like so mesmerizing to watch. It's one of the most dynamic pieces on the runway by a long shot. It's absolutely stunning in every sense of the word. This is one of the most smartly constructed and smartly designed looks for this kind of a theme I think we've ever seen on a challenge that has to do with this particular criteria. And this is gonna be, I think, again, I would argue this look is in my top 5 of the season. This is absolutely a slay. And finally, we have Queen Kong. Once again, her in gold is perfect. I absolutely adore all the lame, and the fact that there's so much fabric, I think really distracts from the fact that this is a bodysuit as well. I think unlike Kitty's look, this look is more interestingly constructed. I feel like there's more fun pieces going on with the bodysuit here, with like the detailings through the bodice in particular, up by the chest. I just think it's more visually impressive and more visually striking. And a lot of that comes down to Queen just being more commanding on the runway. She really knows how to like own the stage and perform the look. So I enjoyed this a lot. I will say it is one of the lower looks for me comparatively, but it's still really good. I do kind of think it is in line with Nania, where there's enough room for improvement with it that I'm not like over the moon about it, but I do really enjoy it a lot. So I'm gonna give her a soft slay as well. And that wraps up all 7 of these looks. If I had to really rank them, clearly Vanity is at the bottom. I would say in terms of preference, Kitty would be next for me. And that would be followed by, I would say, you could either flip or flop. I would say Queen, then Nania. Alyssa's clearly a third for me, and it really leaves for our slay of the day one of 2 choices. It's going to ultimately come down to preference. I think both of these looks are phenomenal, top of the line. I love the fantasy vibes of Pathia's, and I love the disco Studio 54 vibes of Tessa's. But I have to say, I think for me personally, just my personal taste, as much as I loved both of them, and this is like a very narrow, slim margin of difference between the 2, I think I have to give it to Tessa. Pathia's look was gorgeous. I expect Pathia to have a really well-concepted, a really well-constructed, and a really interestingly designed piece. Tessa has not been doing amazing on the runway in comparison to Pathia across the season. She's had some good looks. She's had some great looks in some of these challenges, some of my favorite looks on some of these runways. But this look in particular, this is her best look of the season, bar none. I don't think she's gonna do any better than this unless she pulled out something incredible for the finale, if she would make it there. Or if they get to come back for a final runway, we'll see. But this look to me really captured the theme the best because every element of this look, it wasn't just the garment, it wasn't just things in the hair, it was the hair, it was the garment. It's everything about the way this look was performed that put it at that top spot for me. And now we have to pit this look head to head against our current slay of the season from Gallavaro. And as much as I adore this look from a runway performance perspective, I think it is one of the best executions of any of the themes across the season, if we're talking about the better look in that regard. However, we're talking about the look I want to draw more, and I don't really know what I would do with this that just would not look like a mess with my art style. So I am once again keeping Gala in that top spot. Surprise, surprise, she absolutely no one once again. So it's really starting to look like I'm gonna be doing some Gallavaro fan art pretty soon. And I'm very okay with that. I think this look would be really, really fun to draw. Until next time, be sure to go out there, y'all. Stay kind, stay queer. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all those lovely little things. And also make sure that your day is very slay.